everybody, Waylon here from Bums Barbecue. That's B-U-M-M-S double B-Q. If you didn't know, now you do. I'm gonna be preparing a pork butt and 3 brisket that I need for tomorrow. So I gotta work today, so I'm gonna go ahead and season up this pork butt and 3 briskets and put them on my new Pit Boss Competition Series vertical smoker. I'm gonna put them on at 180 for 8 hours, and I'll check them at lunch, and then I'm gonna put them on Eileen, my offset, and then I'll get a good smoke on them, get a good bark, and then possibly move them back over onto the Competition Series vertical smokers. So anyways, I'm gonna season them up here and then get them put onto that vertical smoker. All right, so I'm actually going to slather up the briskets binder on the briskets and the pork butt and see what the results are like. See if I can not sling it everywhere this time. Again, this is new to me, so I'm just, I guess, trying to get this on there in a way that's consistent and even. So I trimmed these briskets up last night so that I didn't have to do it all this morning. I'll pretty much just season all 3 of these brisket and the pork butt and then get them on the vertical smoker, so we don't really have to watch all that, but I do use the black pepper. I get coarse black pepper. I'm not particular on the quote-unquote mesh of it. I've seen that, you know, maybe the more coarse black pepper gives a little bit of a different look, just slightly. Of course, you know, kind of a rockier look per se, whereas the finer black pepper gives a smoother bark. They are obviously going to taste exactly the same, so it would be personal preference what coarseness or fineness of pepper you like. And then I've got a blend here that I didn't make, but I do like to kind of keep this as my secret weapon. Okay, it's nothing too fancy, and I'd love if the manufacturer would work with me and get me, you know, some of it without having to rely on whether or not the store has it in stock. But you could use garlic. That is a popular flavor, and I like it. You can't go wrong with adding some garlic. After you get a good coat of this will be some Lowry's, just for that, you know, that flavor enhancement that it adds, and the variety of seasons they have in there, like onion and garlic and that stuff. It also adds, Lowry's adds a little salt, so I don't do a whole lot of Lowry's because I just got it all nice and coated with that other stuff. For me, this combination has wowed. It's not too overpowering, like as if I was trying to do a competition cook, but it is definitely a great first bite and taste, and yeah, I like this combination. And then I do the coarse salt again to really just help with that coarse kosher, to help with that bark and add a little bit more of a salty taste. Although, be careful, Lowry's has salt. Oops, yeah. I need a new salt shaker. This lid never wants to quite stay open for me. And I try to get a nice even coat so that the flavors across the board are all even. But this is what I do here. I'm going to go ahead and not video all 3 briskets, but that's pretty much the gist of it. You've got a nice even coated brisket there, ready to go on the smoker. So I'm gonna set that off to the side, finish the other 3, and then do the pork butt. All right, so got those 3 briskets seasoned up, and now I'm gonna do the pork butt. This is the first time I've pulled it out, so I'm gonna check over it to see if I need some trimming. I think that the last time I did a pork butt, it was a good amount of fat on this, so I'm gonna take it down a little, just my preference. Once I got it all, you know, pulled together, it wasn't that noticeable, but it was a unique, real big hunk of fat right on the top. So I'm just kind of trimming up anything that would probably not make it through the cook per se. Yeah, so, and then that just looked ugly. Yep, so not too bad. I think they're a lot simpler. Like, I don't even know if I really needed to take that fat off. It was just with that couple pieces there being really thick, I wanted to go ahead and remove it. That's a little bit more uniform, and this particular piece doesn't quite have, it's got a couple spots up there missing fat anyways, so, but not a bad piece. Anyways, that last pork butt was very tasty, so I'm really just gonna kind of do the same thing, although I'm noticing I would have to cut a lot more off this if I want it to be a little bit more uniform than the last one. So we'll see. I've not done a lot of practicing with pork butts, and what I mean is, gosh, they're so slippery. This bit here seems a little goofy, so, but I don't want to cut it off. I'll just kind of mash it towards there, and we'll see what happens, you know. Yeah, well, this I will take. Nope, that pulled right off. Okay, so this one's a little goofy, not as uniform as my last one. It's got some kind of, you know, more, almost like bits and pieces all around it that I can kind of grab and almost differentiate from the rest. But again, this one's not too huge. But, and last time I used this Mike D's, and you know what, it was kind of a big hit. So anyways, and this one clumped. So I have to work on that, but anyways, gosh, it's so awkward to grab at times and it's slippery. All right, anyways, I put a real heavy coating of this last time, seemed to set a good bark, and then once everything got pulled up and together, especially with the pulled pork, since the exterior and the interior meat gets all mixed together, you're gonna be able to take this external seasoning and bark and get it all blended into every bite. Yeah, this is clumped, that's unfortunate. All right. All right, and then next I'm actually adding a smoked paprika. Hopefully add a good, nice color to this. And yeah, it's a beautiful finish. So see if I can't get this to sift out good. This lid's also not awesome. I found this smoked paprika in bulk at Winco. So I had to come up with a container for it too. I like this smoked paprika for garnish and stuff like that. Again, beautiful color. Yeah, well, that's kind of a nice coat. It's kind of a lot, but that'll be cool. Anyways, so now I've got all the meats seasoned up where I like them. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it outside and put it on my Pit Boss competition smoker. All right, so while I had gotten them brisket and pork butt seasoned up, I turned on the Pit Boss competition pellet cooker at 180 degrees. It says it's sitting at 175 there, and actually about 180 here. That's been going for almost an hour, at least 45 minutes. Get it all warm. You know, it looks like that's working. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the briskets and the pork butt on there. You know, the heat comes right up in the center in the fire pot, and if I put meats right above it with that heat right there, just right where that heat is, or the center of the cooker where that heat comes up, the meat takes a lot of heat right there. So anyways, I would usually do fat down when I do my other pellet cooker. So since I'm going to be putting the pork butt on the bottom, because I think you can take it a little bit better, I'm going to put that fat down towards the fire pot, and we'll see how that goes. Let's see if I can. Yep, that's fat side. So, oh yeah. Okay, that just barely fit, so that was perfect. Okay, perfect. So, anyways, now I'm gonna go ahead and put the briskets on the other three, and I actually have fat I'm gonna put on the bottom rack. I forgot about that, so I'm gonna use all 5 racks today. The only thing I don't know that I may not be excited about is the fact that these briskets will drip down onto each other and inevitably onto the pork butt, but we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm gonna check them at lunch. Oop, that one was tall, barely fit. Scrape some of the bark off. And it's touching. It'll have to do. It's what I got, it's what my plan is. And well, that one's kind of touching the top. So anyways, I was hoping to get this much food on this thing. I primarily wanted to use this cooker for finishing briskets. So I you know, anyways, I don't know. Let's see how this goes. All right, so I'm gonna run that at 180 at least for the next 4 hours while I'm at work. I'll check on it at lunch. Actually, it's 6 o'clock now. I'm home at lunch around 11, so that's gonna be 5 hours. So we'll see what they look like then, and hope I don't ruin all this meat. All right, now after lunch, and I don't know what to expect. I haven't looked at these yet. I just got here, so let's see where. All right, so this Pit Boss vertical pellet cooker is at 180, 182 actually. So that's pretty good. I'm hoping it stayed there. I had about 40 pounds of pellets in here the other day, so it didn't quite fill it even halfway. So I thought it was a 40-pound hopper, but maybe double that. So I didn't look at the specs, you know. So I'll have to relook, but at least 60 to 80 pounds will of pellets will be held in there. So anyways, it does look like up here I'm still somewhere around 140, 135. So anyways, I'm not really able to go off of that. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and see what these look like. It doesn't look like from through the glass I got much of a bark set. Yeah, the torque butt's looking pretty good. Again, we're about 5 hours in. The fat's rendering on my beef fat. The water tray is pretty low, so I'm gonna go ahead and top that off. It says always keep it at like a quarter. So not too bad. This was tight up there. I am touching the roof. I would have maybe had the shelves a little bit lower, but you guys were with me when I got started this morning, and once I got these few in, I didn't want to readjust it, and I went ahead and let that one touch the top. So, but yeah, they're about right where I would expect. I'm totally happy with letting them continue to roll this way for another 4 hours. I am gonna probe that pork butt though. Let me get my meat. All right, so being the lowest piece of meat, I mean, it still looks good. It's not really dark. I've got no burning. Hopefully this thing does what it should. It looks like it's doing okay. It's distributing stuff fairly evenly. The heat should come out here on the sides and travel up. So even this piece here that'd be closest to maybe the heat, it doesn't look negatively affected. I'm pretty well pleased with how they look. Of course, I'm gonna have to get them on my offset to get them nice and dark and smoky tasting. All right, 93, 95 degrees. So anyways, I got to get up to 200. So halfway through my day, I'm halfway there. So we'll see. I'm pretty well pleased with how this is going. I'm gonna let it roll. So we'll be back. This is gonna be, it's about 11:20 right now. I'm gonna shut this up and we won't see it again until I get off work at 4. All right, so back home again, and I wanted to change and then move all this over to the offset and see if I can't get a good smoky taste on it. Let's see how they look so far. So again, I can kind of see through the window. Windows are always kind of funny in my opinion, because inevitably they end up all kind of blackened. You gotta kind of constantly scrub them and stuff. This condensation kind of acted weird there, so we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like. Excuse me. So here we can kind of see them through the glass. That's the one funny thing I think about putting glass on the smokers. Is it's nice to be able to see there and all. See in there and all, but the problem is you really got to scrub it maybe every time. We'll see how I feel about doing that. But anyways, if you could see in there always, it'd be real good. But I can see they're not really dark. I can already tell after about 9 hours of cooking. I don't have a dark color. And I also was running it at 180 because I didn't want to risk too high a temps while I was away. So here we are. Oh, what the? And that was still just under 150, although I did open it. But this is about the darkest one. It's starting to sweat, so that's good. They look good. Dripping down on top of each other again. I don't know what I feel about that totally, but we'll see how it comes out. And the pork butt's actually a nice dark color. So anyways, in that tallow, this beef fat, I'll stir and see if I can't get a little bit more smoky taste on that and get it rendered down too. So you know what, they don't look bad at all. I'm gonna shut it up. I think I'm gonna kick them up to I'm gonna go ahead and kick it up to 275 while they're in here for the next few minutes. But because it could take me about an hour to get a fire going. But I'm gonna close this, forgive me, but here I wanted to notice something. Okay, this thing has been running for 8 hours with 40 pounds in there, and I don't know if you remember the mark earlier. I didn't make a mark or remember the line or how full it was, but this has barely made a dent. I'll have to replay the video and see how far it went down, but I didn't have to add anything to this. So the good thing is it seems to be managing temps pretty well, where it's not having to feed a whole bunch of pellets to keep up, even on a cold day like today. We're in the 50s now, but we did start in the 30s earlier.
I'm gonna go ahead and push that button, bump it to 2. That's kind of weird to don't go to 275. That's okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and bump it up to 270. We'll let that heat start to get up, because what I need to do now is get a dark color and get some fat render on these things. So anyways, I'm gonna get old Eileen back here fired up, and then get these briskets moved and pork butt moved over onto her. All right, so I got the smoker hot. Anyways, I'm ready to take the brisket, the pulled pork, and go ahead and set them on the offset. Roll some real hardwood smoke over them. So anyways, now we're gonna get to really look at these things. I just probed the pulled pork a few minutes ago, and it was actually up to about 125. So remember, we checked it about 5 hours ago now, and it was at about 100. So we're in a good place, you know. Definitely everything's not getting overdone, so that's pretty nice, especially since that pulled pork was pretty close to the fire. So anyways, I'm just gonna take this top brisket, which, yeah, it's swelled up enough to really smash on the top there. Oh, yeah. A little tragic. Ooh, damage. So yeah, letting that touch the top really ruined the bark in that spot. But the rest of it's not looking bad at all. So we're gonna go ahead. It's real tight, it's dense, so these got a little ways. I'm gonna put them over here on the offset now. This one's interesting, really flimsy, and actually we're kind of revealing an interesting spot there. But you know, it's a big piece, an okay color, but yeah, it's got a ways to go. So we're gonna get this over on the offset. Yeah, I'll let that cooker run a bit, but yeah, this bark really doesn't look very good. It's dry, and I kind of bumped it there, so I got a little bald spot too. I'm gonna have to spritz these, see if I can't get that bark to set and look a bit better. But I mean, it's all warm internally. We got it going, but you know, it is what it is. This sucker don't look bad. Real tight though. Definitely got a good ways to go before it softens up too. Good color. Smells great. So anyways, on the offset it goes. And then I'm gonna grab this tray of tallow. It's got a good color. We're gonna continue to get this fat to melt down. So anyways, we'll be back in a bit, probably about 3 hours. I'll keep this cooked going, and we'll check on the colors and stuff then. All right, cooling back down here in Norman, Oklahoma, but I'm gonna take a look at these. 6:45. It's been an hour. Let's see. All right. A little darker, pork butt's closest, yeah, a little tight, ooze and juices though. Bark's all set, that part looks good, that's kind of what we're looking for there. I'm gonna go ahead and just spritz them, and then with some apple cider vinegar / water, 50/50, and then close it up for a bit longer. I probably shouldn't have checked them this soon, but since I sprayed them before and wanted to see how that bark was going. But anyways, spray them real quick, shut it up, and keep rolling. So kind of moved some stuff here just a minute ago. I want to show you. So you see definitely the darkness, and yeah, I'm smoking up some Spam. But that'll be for Super Bowl party, but well, at least gathering. Don't get me wrong. We don't do too crazy partying. But anyways, pork butt there. Rotated it over. I forgot I had the fat side down previously due to it being right above the fire pot in the pellet cooker. So I rotated it fat up. It's looking good. Really nice dark color. That's still real tight. I think we're about 165. It needs to get over 200. I do see the bone pulling away though, so pretty good. These are getting a great color. I'm gonna go ahead and spritz them while I'm out here. This one was way back here, so now that I moved it up, it should start getting a lot darker also. These were a little bit more towards the fire, so I'm pretty well pleased with the color change. I definitely want to get them dark. This one was close to the fire, and it looks like I got, you know, could have done better trimming there. You know, if you can get them much more aerodynamic, kind of like this one is, the cooked is a lot more even. This one looks great. I'm gonna tip the, you always try to tip the fat off the top, but that bark pretty well set on the pellet cooker. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna spritz it a little bit and continue to run temps at about 275. So hopefully I can get this one dark too, like these, and then I'll wrap them and just put them, oh no, I won't wrap them up. I'm sorry, I like to finish unwrapped. Yeah, so I think I'll leave them unwrapped and put them on the pellet cooker to kind of finish without me having to manage a fire out here in the cool temps. Yes, I almost forgot about the tallow. I went to check my water pot. I'm good. I got water in there. And I said, oh yeah, the tallow's there. I do keep a log there. I just found that, especially if I'm putting a pork butt pretty close to the fire over here, that kind of helps. It'll go up and over. So anyways, try a couple, try it different ways, see what you find out. But if I remove that log, then I would have a lot more of the force of the convection across the closer meats. So anyways, yeah, that tallow, the top looks nice and dark. It's gonna have a lot of smoke taste in there. I'm gonna strain it out and then use that to put back on the briskets when I wrap them later. Let's see. It's 10:30. I'm tired. These got a good color, so I think I'll be okay with it. Actually, except that one. I'm actually not 100% sure what happened there. I have to go back and look. Just seems like I lost some of the bark. That might have been one of the, and that wasn't the one where the top was actually touching, and it would have been that point anyways. I think it was that one I had on top with the top touching, because I can kind of see that, but kind of interesting. So just not a lot of bark there, but it is what it is. Pork butt looks good. Anyways, I'm gonna close it back up and run some smoke on it a little bit longer. I think I'm gonna shower, but I mean, anyways. All right, so here they are. Pork butt's looking good. Everything's a good color. So I think I'm going to be pretty well happy with the flavor I got on them. I'm ready to get relaxed and go to bed, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get I have the pellet cooker on, getting warm. I'm going to go ahead and transfer these over to the pellet cooker and put meters in them and go ahead and lay down. And I'll be woken up when each one is up to temp, and then I'll probe it to see if it's good to pull off and wrap. All right, so it's 5 till 11 and I'm ready to go to bed. I got this pellet cooker heated back up, and it actually has 3 probe capability, and it looks like the app lets me go ahead and set temps. So I'm gonna try it. I have the pork butt still yet and the 3 briskets that I'm gonna put back in here on racks, and I'm gonna put these probes in there and I'm gonna go lay down. I should be woken up when each one reaches the set temperature. I like to do the briskets at 195 and then wrap them as long as they're tender. And the pork butt, I think my last one I was successful at like 200 degrees. So I'll do that again with that. So, well, I actually forgot that you wrap the pork butt. Haha, well, welcome to my world. So busy forgetting how to do one thing or another. So I'm actually going to take a foil tray, put that pork butt in there, put some butter on top, and wrap it closed in the foil tray, and then finish it. So yep, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here though for the night. We'll see how those brisket and pork butt turn out tomorrow. If all this back and forth and my efforts will have positive results. So checking out the briskets after all, even this bit is nice and soft and juicy. So we just need to finish it out. We need to get the fat to render. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these going. I mean, it looks real good, it's real tight. So it is what it is. They're the color I like. This one looks fairly good. I just, you know, I'm not sure what happened there, but this whole brisket itself is actually acting kind of funny. I went ahead and stuck it on the bottom. So, and I realized the pork butt needs to be wrapped. I'm gonna put butter on top, wrap it in foil, and I'm actually gonna put that in the oven because I don't have to put it in here, and it's a little tall. I don't want to adjust the rack. So, anyways, we're gonna see how this thing will finish them out. It's about 1 a.m. It didn't wake me up, and it reached 2:04 now. This is expected. This was the one on the top shelf, so it seemed to get done the first, and maybe the crispiest. I'm gonna pull the other two. So what I'm finding out, here we are, like 1 in the morning, and let's see. So for one, I got moisture on the top of that thing. I tried to just run at 280. I didn't want to overcook anything. Looks like I've got one probe sitting at 206 and one sitting at 190, and the thing is just running. Let's see. Condensation on the top. I mean, it's cold out here. Went through a little bit of pellets, but not too much. It says I'm actually at just about 300. But it's staying flamed up pretty good. Probably trying to keep up with how cold it is out here. So this first trial run of trying to finish and starting these briskets on this thing, I don't know if it turned out how I'd like. We'll see. That last one I pulled off and wrapped there was a little bit crispy, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing open and go ahead and pull the other two before I completely ruin. All right, so they don't look terrible. This one that was originally just a good uniform shape looks about the best. That probe goes in like butter. It says I'm kind of low there, 180. It's soft though. Oh, see, it's a little tighter there. A little softer there. It's up there. A little softer there. 207. See, this that's unfortunately that's not very even, obviously, but and then this is a little charred. That goes in fairly easily, and it's at 200 now. It's pretty cold. I got on this cold tray and I brought it in pretty quickly. Hasn't had a lot of time to cool down, but I'm actually gonna wrap these pretty quickly. This one maybe needs a little carryover. I mean, it's soft in areas and tight in some areas. Oh well, and I'm not really sure what happened there. So, you know, this just didn't seem to work out this time. Plus, man, trying to barbecue in these cold weathers with the fluctuation and all that may be also a hindrance for me. So, but anyways, we're gonna wrap them in some smoked beef tallow. We'll slice them tomorrow and see if we can use some of this.
It's bad.
Just getting up on the meat.
Yeah, they
Okay, well, that pulled right out.
chewing that one for a while. Huh?
Yeah.
I think that's my dog.
Well.
That's what I just think.
All right.
You want for your dog? Sure. That'd be
Sorry.
cool.
Yeah, it's right on top of plastic. Yeah. All right, that's pulling very nicely. Oh, it smells so good. You know, I just want to take a mouthful of it, but that would be probably totally inappropriate. That's pulling right apart. It's great smoky smell.
But yeah,
Oh, I forgot to pour the jus out.
they were comfortable.
There's
They were
not a
good.
lot though,
They also
so
had the
I'm gonna-
padding going across the ankle.
we'll leave it as it is. Actually, I'm gonna try this anyway.
Oh, gee. That's
Yeah, I tried to separate the fat. There's not a whole terrible amount of it in here this time. I actually forgot to wrap this sooner. I was like, kept waiting for it to get up to temp, and I totally had a brain malfunction because once it was at about 160, had a good color, I should have just wrapped it, but I was like, I kept waiting. I was doing brisket. The brisket I usually wrap later.
we do a little taste test.
Yeah. It's really warm. Very warm.
That is good. Nice and moist.
Sorry, I was zoning out. You want barky on it?
Oh yeah.
So I try to get this. It's pulling apart super easy, so
That is good
that's a
stuff.
good
Oh,
sign.
that is good.
Looks tender and juicy.
The bark
So-
on all that smoking and stuff.
Wow, it's warm too, so that's good. All right, I can smell the smokiness from here. So what I'm gonna do now is,
That's all I got.
well, there wasn't even a lot of jus left,
that
but
back on?
yeah, well, usually what it'll do is just keep the fat on top, so all you put back on it would be the juice part.
Oh, gotcha.
But there wasn't a whole lot, so there's a little fat on the top. But I do have my, so we'll put that back on there. That's just enough.
That's the best part.
Well, it is, but depends. But yeah, and then I got the homemade barbecue sauce. But yeah, we'll get that served up here in a minute. I'm gonna cut up the brisket.
Look at that glory.
Smells good. Man, it's hard to sit there and smell that all night.
Without eating it.
All right, let's see. Well, it's still oozing juices, so not too bad. Wow. Wow. So good. I don't think I ruined it too
No,
much
I
at
think
all.
I think you're good. This is
So
good.
pretty juicy. Let's check the flat. Okay, that's it's a little firm, but yeah, that bit's crispy. So if it tears like that, then you know you kind of got that part. But still some moisture
yeah.
oozing out of there. So,
You're good.
but it did. The pellet cooker was trying to keep it at 280 for me, and with as cold as it was, I think it was overworking to try to stay. So like this stuff happens. So it's not. Well, we can eat that, I'm sure. It's not untasty, but it's not ideal for that tender. So definitely juicy, good color, pulls right apart. That one's not too warm.
That's good.
Doesn't taste burnt at all. Okay, good.
No.
Because when I
No, not at all.
saw how dark the outside got with that pellet cooker running like it was, I was like, oh no. But yeah, those are pretty good bits and slices, so moisture
Yeah,
in
it's
between all
good.
of them. We will let that sit there. All right, so should I?
Burn in for you? Yeah, just burn ins. Yes. I'm gonna try one. Be full before dinner.
I'm so hungry. Should I cut these in half? Probably too big. Oh, my tummy said, "Harry, what about me?"
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so next day, cleaning up, kind of reflecting on what we did here. I made 3 brisket, and a pulled pork. I ended up smoking some tallow or some beef fat to render it down into smoked tallow, and I ended up putting 3 Spam on there, and actually it was Great Values version of, what's it say, luncheon meat? I don't know, so we'll try it. It was almost $2 cheaper than Spam, and I believe it was supposed to be a similar product. So we have a gathering to kind of get together for Super Bowl tomorrow. We'll mostly just watch some sports plays and eat some food. So anyways, but the 3 brisket and the pulled pork was for this concert event we did here. I attend Calvary Chapel of Norman, Oklahoma, and we were honored to host Seventh Day Slumber and Magdalene Rose. If you've not heard of them, check them out. They do Christian rock. But I was given the opportunity to go ahead and prepare the food for them all to eat before the concert. So for them, I made the brisket and the pulled pork and some potato salad and green beans and a little dessert. We're making fruit crisps. It's something real similar to a cobbler, but all that was really well. And actually, the lead singer Joseph from 7 Day Slumber said he grew up in Texas and thought that it was one of the best briskets that he's had. Very complimentary on the pulled pork. I even made barbecue sauce. I think that what I'm doing with that is real popular, so I'm going to keep that up. But anyways, with the other 2 briskets, I made into brisket sandwiches and got some steak rolls from Walmart. Got some small bags of chips and some soda, and was selling a little steak sandwich combo for all the people that came to see the concert. It was a good time. Got the brand out there, and can't wait to do it again. But let's see. What I did was start these brisket and pulled pork on my vertical pellet smoker in the morning. I think at lunchtime I checked them out, so after 5 hours they were starting to have a good color. And then again after I got off work, I got old Eileen going over here, and wanted to move them over and get some good smoke taste on them and get the good dark bark. So we saw that actually occurred, and then I was ready to go to bed and lay down. So I moved them back over to the vertical smoker and found that the vertical smoker has the ability to take 3 probes. With the Pit Boss app, I was able to tell the app to that my target temp for those brisket were 195, and then I went to bed. Well, come to find out, the app doesn't let you know when you reach your target temp. So not really pleased with that. I'll have to look further into the app. I don't know if there's a setting I can change to alert me, but I usually use a ThermoPro, and that really works fine for me. The alarm goes off when it reaches the temp I set it at, and I have the ability to have 4 probes on my ThermoPro. So unless I find out something different about this, I'm gonna just keep using my ThermoPro. And I also have 1 meter probe that I end up sticking in the pulled pork, and that let me know when I was up to the proper temperature, so I could just rest it. One thing I forgot about the pulled pork was I kept running smoke on it like my briskets. I was kind of like forgetting to wrap it at about 165. Once the pulled pork's got a good color on it, you're satisfied, you can go ahead and wrap it. So I had a little bit of less moisture on that one than I did my last, but it was still phenomenal. It was real tasty and had an extra smoky taste because I let it go for so long. So that was kind of nice. The other thing about the pellet cooker here was that it got cold. So it kept running flame to keep up with the ambient temperatures. I think it did a pretty good job with the way it's manufactured, kind of the walls there. But when you're constantly burning fire at the bottom, heat's coming up under everything more consistently. So it didn't just kind of run a little bit at a time to keep it at 280. I probably could have set it lower, maybe 250. I haven't tried this. I haven't tried cooking on this very much, so I don't know if it prefers something lower like 250. That might have helped. So we'll have to try again. I may try a whole cook on it too. The only thing with that is I do know that I really like the flavor and stuff that I get on the offset. So I don't know if it's, you know, if you do need to just set it and forget it for some reason for the entire cook, I'm sure it's going to perform just well. But I usually like to put them on the offset to get that richer, darker bark and smoke taste. So the thing worked pretty good. One thing that was kind of strange was that the condensation came up out of the smokestack. It was, you know, moisture and fat from the meat that come together up out of there and ended up pooling on top. I'm in the process of cleaning it up, but yeah, you know, it's got a good lined, good double lined wall. Seemed to hold temps pretty good. I think that it ran a little bit, like I said, constant because it was trying to keep up with the ambient temperatures. But I think it's got good potential, especially the way I like to use them, and that's just to kind of finish briskets and stuff. I think it'll have the ability to hold if I need it to, and it's actually not heavy, so I was kind of excited to think that I might be able to take this with me when I need to just hold meats in there at a low temperature. I could hold 5 briskets or maybe more. I mean, it depends on how long they are. This thing is a little bit deep. I had rack space on either side of these brisket, but I think it has potential. I can't wait to use it when my outside temperatures are a little bit normal. I'm gonna look into that app, or the Pit Boss app for monitoring temps. I don't know why it let me set it to 195 if it wasn't gonna alert me when they got up there. You have to kind of watch the numbers, so what's the point in setting it anyway if you've got to watch it anyway? So I don't know. Like I said, maybe I didn't see something or realize I had to set it to tell me when it got there. I do think that it you know, used pellets well. I don't think it, I got a little bit low, and it dips down in there, of course, where towards the center where the auger is, but it seemed to run really well on what was in there. Like, it didn't burn through pellets. They were also the Sam's Club pellets, so I kind of like those. I thought they did a good job. So we'll see if other pellets would burn faster in here, or if this is just good at regulating them. Oh, nice. Grease tray caught some goodies. I always wondered if I can, you know, turn that into some liquid smoke maybe. But anyways, I have to research liquid smoke, see if I want to make my own. But I think it did a pretty good job for what I want to use it for. It started well, and it finished pretty well. So that was, you know, overall pretty good. Kind of disappointed in the fact that it didn't alert me, kind of over crisped that, some of the edges of the brisket, but overall pretty good. So we'll have to try some more and you know, see what else we can come up with. Till next time, thanks for watching.